Hi everyone, this is Dr. Pat. As human beings, we go through a lot of experiences through life, whether good or bad. Over time, what normally happens is that the effects or the reality of these experiences usually diminish. Now, sometimes we go through a negative experience that literally traumatizes us, where it is difficult for us to forget about that experience. We literally live in the experience. Time stops. We're talking about trauma where you might have been raped, where you might have been molested, where you might have been in an accident that you cannot get over. It might be a case of a divorce. It might be a case of a broken relationship, a relationship that meant so much to you, and you still can't get past it. For whatever reason it is, that particular situation has pushed a stop button in your mind that you cannot move forward in life. So you're unable to enjoy life anymore. Your every waking moment is consumed by this trauma. Now, this is not good for us because this is not what God has intended for us. When this happens to us, we need to get help. Whether we need to seek a counselor, whether we need to join a group, a support group, but we need to find someone who's able to help us to move past it. God is more than able to help us to move past it, but here's where the problem is. In order for that to happen, we must be willing to let go of it. And that is where the difficulty is, because a lot of times we're not willing, as much as the trauma affects us so negatively, and we tell ourselves that we want to get rid of it, but there is something that allows us to hold on to it same way, that refuses to move past it, to reflect on it, that yes, this was bad. However, we cannot change the past. What we have to do now, as we are in the present and for the future, we look at this situation, we learn from it. We recognize that life is made up of many things, good and bad, and this is just one of those things that has happened, and then we try our best to allow it to make us into a better person. Whether it is that we try to help somebody else who has been through something like this, or we try to encourage persons, or we try to get persons to understand what to do or what not to do to help prevent this same thing from happening to them. This is how we become stronger. This is how we help our brothers and sisters. Now, in Philippians 3, verses 13 to 14, the Apostle Paul says, I focus on one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. I press to reach the end of the race and receive the heavenly prize which God, through Christ Jesus, is calling us. If you allow this situation to defeat you, if you allow this situation to take and continue to hold your life, there is no way that you can become all that God has called you to be. You cannot become the person who He has made you to be. You cannot, because it stifles you. It literally kills you. It literally sucks out all the life out of you. So you have to make the decision that you will not continue to allow it to defeat you. It will no longer have power over you. You have to decide that. Once you have decided that, then you have now given God the power, the authority to help to heal you. But as long as you hold on to it, nothing can happen. And this is why he says, listen, the past cannot be changed. It's hard, it is not easy. But at some point in time, you have to pull yourself up and say, enough is enough. It hurts. It was traumatic. It should not have happened. I don't deserve this. All of that is true. But so you owe it to yourself to lift yourself up, to become a stronger person through that experience, and to become all who God has called you to be.